Welcome to Jackie's Craft Table. Hello, everyone. Thanks for stopping by. I'm here for Spellbinders today, and I get to show you some new items from their Flourished Fretwork collection by Becca Feakin. This first set is called Shapeabilities Sentimental Finery Etched Dies. You get 4 pieces in this set, and they're all just gorgeous. There are so many fun things that you can do with this set. I also have their all-occasion sentiment stamp and die set. I'm super excited about this one because, as the name suggests, there's a sentiment for every occasion in this set, and I adore the font that these come in. I also am very fond of red rubber stamps. And you get some beautiful dies with this as well. There are 3 pieces to this set. You get this beautiful filigree die, which you can use with or without the die that cuts around the edge. And then you get a little sentiment strip die that you can put in the middle. And this sentiment strip die fits every single sentiment from this set. The sentiment stamps pop out easily from the red rubber background. You can throw away the negative space around them, but I think I'm going to just store mine in the negative space. You get 12 different sentiments in this set. For my first card, I'm going to be using the Sentimental Finery Etched dies. For this first die I'm cutting out, you could easily cut out the center of it with the octagon die included in this set, but I'm just going to keep it all one piece. For this card, I'm using 3 different pieces of cardstock that I wouldn't generally put together. They all have a very warm tone, and this will add some cohesion to the card. I'm using little pieces of washi tape to hold these dies in place, and I'm just trying to get the edge die aligned perfectly around this octagon die. This last die I'm using has to be one of my favorite dies. I'm going to leave this out on my desk because it is just so cute. It doesn't cut out an edge around it, but that's easily done with a paper trimmer. Let me show you what these look like once I run them through my die cutting machine. Since these dies are so intricate, I did use a metal shim underneath my plates. And that just makes it so that the pieces pop out easily. I love the rounded corners on this first die cut piece. It has some beautiful filigrees in each corner. And now for my octagon piece. I'll gently pull this out from the negative pieces. I don't usually work with intricate dies like this, but I sure had a lot of fun. And the pieces die cut just beautifully. Because I used the metal shim, the washi tape really sticks strongly to the paper, so I have to be careful when I pull that up. Now I can pop out the negative bits, and here is the die cut. Isn't that gorgeous? And now for the last one. And like I said, it doesn't cut around the edges, but I just die cut it on the edge of this piece of cardstock. And then I can poke out all of the negative bits. All of the little open spaces in this die cut allows you to weave in ribbon if you want to, and that's what I end up doing with this piece. I'm going to trim it down, but of course you could just cut it out on your octagon piece. You wouldn't have to do this step, but I wanted all of my pieces to be separate. And now for some fun weaving. I'm pulling out my favorite ribbon. I've had this in my stash for ages, but I just love it. And I needed something kind of neutral to go with all of these bright colors. I'm just going in and out of the little spokes. And make sure you go behind the flower piece in the center. And it just turns out adorable. This is so much fun. You could even use paper strips to weave in and out of this die cut, or nothing at all. It just looks cute on its own. And now to put this card together, I'm using another piece of the pink cardstock as my background, and I'll attach that to a white card base. This card is an A2 sized card, which is 5.5 by 4.25. Next, I'm going to add my octagon onto my blue cardstock using some liquid adhesive. I'm just adding it to the edges and the center. You don't have to put glue behind every little piece. And I just love the look of that on the navy blue cardstock. And I didn't attach this yet to my pink cardstock because I wanted to tie this ribbon around the edges. I'm using a little bit of score tape for this, and I wish that I had cut my ribbon a little bit longer so that I could make the ribbon kind of puff out a little bit more in the front. You'll see what I mean here in just a minute. But I'm going to use some more liquid adhesive to glue down my die cut piece. And I made sure just to put it on the edges so it doesn't touch my ribbon. I'll add another piece of score tape to attach the ribbon on the other side. And here is where I kind of puff out the ribbon. But it would have looked a lot more cute if I had left a little more length to that. But oh well, I'll have to do that on the next card. Now I can take off the release paper. And I'm going to add some more liquid glue behind this die cut piece. Just adding little dots around the edges. And then more on the center. And now I can adhere this down onto my card base. I love how you can see all the different colors of cardstock through these intricate die cuts. It's just beautiful. I'll press everything into place and then I can start on my sentiment. And of course, I'm going to use one of the sentiments from the All Occasion Sentiment Stamp and Die Set. I really like this sentiment that says, "Just saying hello." I'm using some VersaFine Onyx Black ink to stamp this out onto another piece of the orange cardstock. I'll use the sentiment strip die to cut this out. I'll add a little bit of tape to hold it in place so it doesn't shift again. I love it when sentiments come with dies that fit them perfectly. Makes life so much easier. And I am going to fishtail one of the ends before I adhere it onto my card project. To do this, I cut a small slit in the center of one of the ends, and then I match the corners up to it, and it just creates a perfect fishtail. I should say that usually it creates the perfect fishtail. I struggle a little bit with this one. I'm just lucky I don't cut myself more often than I do. I'm going to pop up this sentiment with some foam pieces. And then I can just attach that to the bottom of the card. And then I decide that it needs a little bit of bling. So I'm using some Spellbinders gold flecked jewels. And I really love these in the dark blue. They had this in a previous card kit. I just love these. And I'm just going to put 3 of the different sizes on this card. And that completes my first card project. Don't you just love all of the beautiful, intricate details that these dies create? On my second card project, I'm going to be using more happy, bright colors. I chose this bright, almost neon colored green cardstock to cut out this frame. And here's what this die cut looks like after all of the negative spaces have been poked out. I'm using just the frame die again to cut out a piece of gray cardstock to go behind my green cardstock. The piece of butterfly pattern paper that you see there is from a paper pad called Express Yourself from a previous Spellbinders card kit. I'm going to attach this to a gray card base. I like how the gray and the green cardstocks look together, and then this little piece of butterfly paper just brings it to another level. I just think it looks so beautiful. I'm going to attach my filigree piece onto the gray cardstock. I'm just gluing it down flat, and then I'm going to work on my sentiment. I used the sentiment die to cut out a piece of blue cardstock for my sentiment, and I'm using the sentiment that says "Praying for You." I wanted to show you how you can use it in your mini MISTI. Make sure that you pull out your foam piece first, because these are red rubber stamps are a little bit thicker, so you don't need the foam in your mini MISTI. I'm stamping it up again with some more VersaFine Onyx Black ink, and it just stamps out beautifully. I'm not going to fishtail my sentiment this time. I'm just going to adhere that down flat onto my green cardstock. However, I am going to pop up my filigree die cut with some foam pieces and center that on my card base. I really love how this card turned out. I think it's my favorite of the two. These dies were so much fun to play with. And now I can adhere my sentiments down with some liquid glue. I was trying to match my cardstock to the butterflies in this piece of pattern paper. That's why I chose the blue. And then I'm going to use more Spellbinders gold flecked gemstones. I'm using the red ones because there are some beautiful red butterflies in the pattern paper. I'm just using 3 of those again. All of the products that I used to create these 2 cards are listed below and over at my blog. Thanks for joining me, everyone. I hope you're all taking care, staying happy, and staying crafty. I'll be back again soon with another video. Bye!